Welcome, friends, to Beyond the Boundary. And on a bright, sunny day at the MCG, which is called as the G, it turned out to be a completely antithesis by the end of the day as India finished their first innings at the score of 369 all out. The Centurion yesterday, Nitish Kumar Reddy, was the last man to be out. And then Indian bowlers came out and they were spewing venom. And at a point when Australia were 91 for the loss of 6 wickets, it seemed that India would really run through the tail and that this was our test match. But that was not to be because the last four of the Australian batting lineup added almost 137 runs, and Australia ended day four at 228 runs for the loss of 9 wickets with a half-century partnership between Nathan Lyon and Scott Boland. Bumrah completing 200 wickets. He could have got a fiver, but that was a no ball on which he got a catch in the slips by Rahul. So many things happened, and we are here to talk about it right after the game on day four on Beyond the Boundary. Welcome back, and let's welcome my partners in crime. Today we have Nitin Naik and Dwaipayan Datta joining me. Because we need to talk about it. Yesterday was a fantastic day because we spoke so many things, so many events happened, and so on day four we also have a lot of things to talk about. So please send in your comments. Please do tell us your name and where are you joining us so that we come to know where Beyond the Boundary is spreading. But Dwapayan and Nitin, welcome to the party. Day four. Nitin, kind of a antithesis, 91 for 4, and then it ended with 228 for 9. Thoda sa aisa laga ki, India ran out of steam because there was a centurion in the first innings in the form of Steve Smith, 470 for Australia. India with Nitish Reddy century 369. Did you imagine Australia would still remain unbeaten at the end of the day?
Not when they were 91 for 6, no, because I think Bumrah and Siraj, I think this was one of, we have all been very critical of Siraj through the series, but I think this was his best spell of the series. He got the ball to move. I think that the fact that he wasn't given the new ball, I think Rohit kind of used that reverse psychology over here. That when that Gavaskar talks about so often, when he thought that Kapil Dev was flagging and he was bowling too slow, he used to ask Syed Kirmani to come up to the stumps and keep, and then that used to infuriate Kapil and make him bowl faster. and I think that is what he did with Siraj. I think that not being able to use that new ball, I think it hurt him, and I think he produced his finest spell of the series. A day of maybe what could have been had Yashasvi held on to those chances. I think Usman Khawaja was still in single digits. Um, Manas Labuschagne I think was on 46.
Yes.
Uh, and had Akash Deep, who also bowled beautifully, but just he doesn't have the god smiling on him, sadly, at the moment. But had Yashasvi got that Manas Labuschagne catch, I think this could have been a 220, 230 chase, and I think, boy, then that would have been game on. Now with Australia ahead by 334, the bowlers in the end, and with the softer ball and the wicket kind of losing, yes, there is a little bit of uneven bounce, but the drop in wickets don't wear too much, and I think in the end, India just ran out of steam.
Exactly. And Manos Labuschagne, when he was dropped, the lead was 204, 205 or something, and you're right. And let's move to our drop-in pitch expert, Dwaipayan Datta. He gave us a very detailed amount, and it just takes away a lot of things when the pitch Dwaipayan doesn't naturally wear out. But let's talk about Jasprit Bumrah. He missed a fiver today, but he is really taking the weight of the entire nation, entire bowling on his shoulders. But kudos to him completing 200 test wickets. Brilliant bowling.
Yes, and see the way he is going and 200 wickets with an average of less than 20, like he is in that Malcolm Marshall, Cartley Ambrose category at the moment. Like he has just taken himself to a completely different level. He in wickets in Australia, I still am like I can still understand that there is some help. He gets those wickets in India, so India, I will be very categorical in saying that India has become the force that they have been because of Jasprit Bumrah because if you see India's trajectory of victories from 73 till now, barring that one Rishabh Pant's Brisbane, every test match has been like just Bumrah's contribution has been so immense that it is like he is like a incredible force. Like, and in this test match, in the context of this test match, right now, probably what I think the most probable result is a draw. And
Hmm.
if we save this test match, probably the batters will take the credit tomorrow. But this, if this draw happens, this will happen because of that Jasprit Bumrah spell in the middle.
Very
Because
interesting.
because this had those guys, Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh, they were still there. Like they would have had 360 to 375 with about 10-15 over, with at least 45 overs of bowling in hand.
Hmm.
So the Australia has been robbed of 45 minutes of bowling by that one spell that Jasprit Bumrah bowled. He has been outstanding and keeping coming back. He bowled what, 9 spells today?
Yes,
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I just think
absolutely.
only Mumbai Indians is getting a little worried.
No, that's okay. It's okay if Jasprit Bumrah plays for India, does well in the test. Other things probably do not matter here. But that's a very important point that you mentioned. This tweet also immediately sent by our desk and sub 20 average. Really fascinating and really incredible athlete that Jasprit Bumrah is. But Dwapan, you mentioned tomorrow India might be able to save this match. Let's ask our viewers also to chip in. Friends, what do you think? Send your views today, right now. Send in the comments. Can India save this match or Australia is going to win? Tell us quickly while we have this discussion. But Nitin, coming to what Dwapan said, one of the lethal forces that Bumrah is, India is really doing well because of that. But just imagine if he had a proper support from the other end, it would have been a record not only for him, also for the slip catchers, also for the wicket keepers, because things would have been completely different. But the support is not there. You mentioned about Akash Deep. Let's talk about it. It's very important. The question to both of you, starting with Nitin, how unlucky can Akash Deep be? This is unbelievable. I mean, I think I have never seen anyone being so unlucky in the last maybe a decade or so. But how unlucky, Nitin? More unlucky can Akash Deep be?
Yeah, I think I heard the commentators mention that he beat all the batters combined 25 times today. That that is a lot of deliveries, threatening deliveries that he's bowled without really getting a wicket. One chance that he produced, a fairly simple chance, went down when Yashasvi dropped that chance. Um, I was interested in what Irfan Pathan and Mark Nicholas, I think, was saying.
Hmm.
I think during the lunch break, I think they showed the pitch map of, or during the tea break, I think they showed the pitch map of Akash Deep. I think they were saying that he was bowling at that 7.3 meter zone. And what Irfan Pathan actually said, that he's probably beating the batsman because he's maybe pitching it half a meter short. Had he pitched it 6.8 to 6.9 meters, maybe he would have been driven for force, but he
Hmm.
would have also produced more chances. That's what Irfan said. Uh, Maybe he's suffering from that, Ishan Sharma zone, that or Javagal Srinath zone, that
Yes.
both the bowlers suffered from briefly. And I think Javagal Srinath, after his retirement, even made that comment that had I had the good sense to pitch the ball a couple of feet higher, more up front, I would have maybe ended up with 75 or 100 test wickets more.
Hmm.
Uh, but I think maybe that's something for the bowling coaching group to work around with. But again, very very unlucky. What I liked was the control that he gave the captain, and yes, Rohit Sharma has been criticized for his captaincy, but I thought today he was very very proactive in that middle session. When as soon as Travis Head came back, he brought back Bumrah and got I think India got 4 for 11 in about 22 balls in that stretch, and I think that Rohit Sharma should be credited today for some smart captaincy.
Interesting. Dwapan, I'll take a comment about Akash Deep and then we'll move on to the captaincy comparison. Do you think really Akash Deep can be more unlucky now? इससे भी और इससे ज़्यादा क्या होगा उसके साथ बेचारे के साथ?
But what Nitin has said is a very important point. Like when you are bowling that slightly short on these pitches, because we had seen this time and time again with Javagal Srinath. Javagal Srinath was not a 212 wicket bowler. I'm telling you, like the kind
Yes,
of
yes.
spells that Javagal Srinath used to bowl in Australia and even in India, like sometimes he was just unplayable. But he used to be that little bit short, and that's why batsmen used to get beaten, but didn't get out. Ishant was still a more of a towards the end. He was a restrictive kind of a bowler whose job was to restrict and not give runs. But that is a kind of high risk, high reward policy. Like if you bowl it slightly fuller, there is always the chance of getting driven. But you can always you will get wickets. That's why Siraj got the wickets today. He was pitching it up just that little bit more, which that's why the ball moved in and sneaked through the gate of Paja and all that. So those are the things probably that he will learn. But his basics are so much in place, and these days with so much infrastructural support to back you up, he is going to only get better. A superb bowler for India has unearthed. Like, yes, he is not a Jasprit Bumrah that who can cut open teams, but that that control that pace attack needs. Superb bowler.
Absolutely. Let's take some quick comments. Anirban Banerjee says, same old story of captaincy passive allowing singles to Lyon despite drop catches. 10-wicket partnership should not have survived the 17 plus. Poor captaincy. Nitin, I think they're contradicting you. That's okay. We had a couple of other, Kaushal and Kiran Kumar also sent us some messages saying that Kaushal is saying probably that it should be a Australia win or a draw. And Kiran Kumar says that probably this could be a draw, but very interesting. Now, I'm wearing this t-shirt specifically to highlight the jailbreak that Australia did. Mohsin Malik says Australia will bat on the 5th morning and try to bowl India out, rely on the 5th day pitch to win, ups and downs of Test cricket at their best, with no parallels in other format of the game. Mohsin, absolutely correct. And friends, please do send us your comments. Please also mention where are you connecting from. That would really help us a lot. But Nitin, let's compare the captaincy where you mentioned, yes, and Rohit was really good in probably almost 3/4 of the day. But with Pat Cummins, I always compare him to the next person to play James Bond. He did exactly that in the first innings, 49 and now 41. Amazingly, he took out that sheen where India was completely on top of Australia. And this was amazing, 91 for 6. And from there, Cummins and Labuschagne. In fact, remember when we were talking about Steve Smith on the first day, I thought if his Judua gets going, it will become a problem. But Marnus, Labuschagne and Cummins, the partnership, Nitin, was fidgety but very crucial.
Yeah. That critical moment passed by, no? Once Australia got a lead of 250 plus, and with still asking the other strike bowlers to come back again and bowl and utilize their energy, I think the moment had passed by for India at that moment. The what I like about Cummins is extremely organized batter, and what do you tell your fast bowlers generally to do? Hit the top of off, isn't it? But he has got such a wonderful offside game that he opens the face, plays very well through covers, through mid off, and once that field kind of opened up, uh, he got the runs, and he also defended very well. I also think that he benefited a bit by because the ball had started to get a bit old, the pitch had started easing up, the bowlers had started tiring, and I think in the end, I think we lacked a proper strike bowling seam support to the trio that we had. I think Jadeja and Washington and even Nitish I think bowled only one over. I don't think they had the strike power to really push for that breakthrough moment.
Interesting. In fact, you mentioned the Dwapan about Javagal Srinath. I remember that test match. Probably if it's in Eden Gardens against South Africa, 1996. Nothing's happening. The captain gives Srinath the ball and zoom, zoom, zoom. He just goes through the tail. Nothing like that happened. It was Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad.
They
Yeah,
were
yeah. But that
chasing
series was
170 and got all out for
yes,
100.
6
that was
for
Ahmedabad.
21.
And
Yeah.
absolutely,
6 for 20.
you correct. That was a brilliant spell, but nothing of that happened. Do you see Cummins as someone who doesn't look really very dangerous, but is immensely strong in his captaincy skills? Dwapan.
Yes, this is one of the best captains. Obviously, like he has won everything as a captain. Like only thing he hasn't won is the BGT. Like that. Yes, he has won all the World Cups. He has won everything. But only thing that is missing from his cabinet is the BGT. So he has always he has been a very good captain. One of the like normally we like bowling captains. Uh, there is a kind of like idea that bowling captains are not always very astute.
Yeah,
They tend to either over bowl themselves or under bowl and all those things. But he is nothing on those lines. He's a great captain, plays according to the situation. And, and when he bats, he understands his limitations. Like Marnus was not taking a single um, uh,
Bumrah.
allow him to
yeah,
allow
rotate.
so that Cummins doesn't face. So a captain is ready to allow that to happen. So imagine there is no ego in him. Like he's a
Correct.
number 8 bat who has scored runs. So those are the things that shows that he has a lot of quality in him. Like as a captain, he's a superb cricketer, and as Nitin always has a lot of regard for him as a bowler. I also really like him. So he's a great cricketer of these times.
Definitely, and these kind of innings they endorse that, validate that. And before we come to the end of the third session, or the last 1 hour of the session, I need to take your inputs on something which has been going on, doing some rounds of late. Let's reduce this 5-day event to a 4-day event. Michael Vaughan said, one of the Indian greats also mentioned, suggested that something like be done. But now this match has gone into the 5th day, and that is the beauty of Test cricket. So I think Nitin, 4-day कम पड़ेगा यार, 5 दिन तो होना ही चाहिए.
I mean, I can just to play the devil's advocate. I can understand where they're coming from, in the sense that what they are also suggesting is, since we talk so much, or since there's so much talk amongst cricketers, amongst experts, amongst coaching groups about clogged calendars. So what they are also suggesting is, if we have a 4-day test, and since obviously they are armed with a lot of data, considering the fact that most of the test matches now are ending in 3.5, 4 days, or maybe even lesser. Maybe they are saying that if we have 4-day tests, it will free up so many days in the calendar. But I also fear that if you have so many free days in the calendar, some other franchise tournament will come up in some other part of the world. So,
Correct.
so I would want Test cricket to stay for 5 days. I would just want what has happened in the last WTC cycle, especially, is this or since the WTC has come into the picture, is the fact that the pitches have become too skewed in terms towards the bowlers, which has led to a drop, which has led to a drop in batting standards, and maybe an unreal rise in bowling standards. That's what I would say, because I don't think the bowlers are as good as they're made out to be. If like you can see in this test only, if or you saw it, what happened in Perth also, that once the wicket settles down, you just need proper skill and channel bowling to get wickets. And I just feel that maybe, if you can, right now I think it's 70-30 in the favor of the bowlers. What I would suggest is maybe have it around 55-45 in favor of the bowlers, and then maybe you'd see better balance.
Correct. But 5 days is 5 day.
5 days, 5 days.
5 day. Wonderful. Dwapa, and it's like converting a cuisine which takes a particular process to become tastier. You're converting that into fast food. 5 day is 5 day. 4 day, nahi chalega. Notorious says Bumrah has been overworked this match with 8-9 spells. We must be careful ahead of the 5th test, Champions Trophy, England
52
tour.
overs.
Thank you. Yeah,
He bowled
Notorious.
52 overs in this match.
Yeah, this is a good comment, Notorious, but your name sounds pretty interesting. But Dwapa, 5 days a 5 day. It's a cuisine, guys. Let's not. Isse chedkhani mat karo.
And why should 5 days be 5 days? As Nitin said, it is not the five matches are becoming shorter because of the pitches that you are dishing out. But even if you see test matches in England, why does England play baseball? Because they play on good pitches, so they want to get quick runs so that they have enough time to get 20 wickets. If you see test matches in England, most test matches go to 5 days. In Australia, more often than, like, whenever there is a contest, when there is a semblance of a contest. Problem is there are some teams
Yeah.
around which are really poor these days. But when there is a semblance of a contest, then it does go to 5 days on good pitches. But yes, if you are dishing out pitches the way India did against New Zealand, the second and the third Test match pitches, those are pathetic cricket pitches. Like, see, if I go back in time from the 1980s till the first decade of 2000s, there were only 4 or 5 Test matches where pitches were so skewed in favor of spinners. One was the India-Pakistan Test match after 4 draws, Gavaskar's
Hmm.
last test. That was skewed in favor of spinners. Then Narendra
Yes.
Hirwani's debut, that was skewed in spinners' favor. Like, it was like that. But when Kumble was winning test matches, those were not these kinds of pitches. Those were proper Indian turners, where test
Right.
matches used to happen for 5 days, and we used to extract result on day 5. That's where the greatness of Kumble was. But this has become a bit of a farce in India, and it becomes slightly farcical in New Zealand also. They also
Hmm.
dish out absolute green tops, and matches get finished in two. Either it finishes in 2 days, and if it doesn't finish in 2.5 days, then because there is so much grass, the pitch doesn't break, and then it
Correct.
becomes long drawn draws. So it's a very
Yes.
it's a tricky situation in New Zealand. But other than that,
Yeah.
Test match should be 5 day cricket,
Yes.
and
So
you
beyond
have
the
that
boundary,
extra
yeah.
cushion. Extra
Huh.
cushion. If there is rain, you can go to the 5th day, na?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct. And in fact, there was no rain today. It was lovely, bright and sunny today at Melbourne. And beyond the boundary, we endorse it has to be 5 days. That has to be the case. 5 days test match. That's it. So we don't want a 4 day test match. That's it. Comedy ki
Yeah,
dukaan
because
slow over rate ho gaya. Yeah.
I
Acha.
also
So
sorry to interject, Pankaj,
huh.
but had we had 4 day games, we would not have had that great Sydney draw, nor would we have had that great Brisbane finish.
Right.
Exactly.
करेक्ट करेक्ट एंड स्लो ओवर रेट के बारे में सवाल आया है कॉमेडी की दुकान आप कॉमेडी करते करते सीरियस पूछने लगे स्लो ओवर रेट हो गया तो पेनल्टी लगेगा क्या अब कल देखेंगे सर वो कल के शो में आपको जरूर बताएंगे क्योंकि कल अगर जल्दी आउट होता है नहीं होता है वो मैच के बाद ही रेफरी से हम इंटरेक्शन करके आपको जरूर बताएंगे बट थैंक यू फॉर योर कमेंट बट लास्ट कपल ऑफ पॉइंट्स टू बी डिस्कस क्विकली नेथन लायन एंड स्कॉट बोलैंड Nitin, 30, 35 plus guys, senior guys at number 10, number 11, that really helped Australia. And then 55 run partnership, unbelievable. And Nathan Lyon, I saw him talking to KL Rahul constantly. I was kind of imagining whether he was talking to KL Rahul, अच्छा आज बैटिंग करेगा 10 मिनट के लिए नहीं करेगा अच्छा तू 3 नंबर पे आएगा 2 नंबर पे आएगा I think it was reverse sledging happening but Nathan Lyon and Scott Boland really mature last pair. I think Australia should be fortunate for having such kind of cricketers.
Yeah, and what immaculate defensive games both of them have. Also, obviously helped by the fact that the Indian bowlers were tiring, and I think if something has to be done about this Kookaburra ball once it goes past 40 45 overs, it just becomes like a pulp. There's no seam movement, there's no bounce, there's nothing that. What at least happens with the SG test here is that bowlers get consistent reverse swing because of the prouder. Although they say that the ball has been changed and that has produced more wickets up front, which has made batting against the new ball more challenging in Australia. But I think once the ball gets older and if the wicket is flatter, then I don't think they have enough teeth in the bowling attack to get batters out once they are set, even tail end.
Interesting. Yes, and an amazing partnership there of 55 runs. They are unbeaten. They'll come tomorrow morning. But to add to the drama, Dwaipa, I just got last over of the day, and I was teleported to 2017 at the Oval, India versus Pakistan Champions Trophy one-day final. I was doing the commentary, and Jasprit Bumrah bowled a no ball to Fakhar Zaman, and then we know what happened. We all were there, and KL Rahul took a very interesting. Somehow he managed to keep it in the body on the shin, and he was very happy just to see the umpire signaling a low ball. I mean, what more can happen in a Test match on day 4 on the last over?
Yeah, that was very dramatic. But I will just say one thing, Pankaj. Like, I do not exactly know that how much of a help this last wicket partnership be for Australia. Like, if they had
Mm-hmm.
got out, then they would have had a lead of around 280, 290, 290-ish kind of a lead, and they would
Okay.
have had 20 minutes of today new ball. So basically, three cracks with the new ball if it goes to the second new ball.
Uh-huh.
So it it is probably has taken them to a very safe zone. But if they are to win this test match, racing against time, I do not exactly know how helpful will this last wicket partnership be, because I thought that was it was slightly uncharacteristic of Australia because they are scared of India in many
Yes.
ways. They are scared. That's why they kept playing on and on. It was kind of a the game wasn't going anywhere other than the fact that time was getting eaten up.
Correct,
So
correct.
yeah,
Saurabh
it
also,
was
yeah.
fine. They clung on, but India was also not desperate in the last 15 minutes. I think
Yes, the
very
direct
much
hit
want to
says,
back.
yeah, direct hit says don't blame the ball. It's not an excuse to let Boland play for 100 balls. Agreed, boss. But कभी आपने कोकाबुरा बॉल 40 ओवर के बाद पकड़ा है हाथ में, तभी देखना बहुत मजा आता है. Saurabh, quickly joining us as we wind up. But what Dwapan said, just quickly, Australia were there in a thought process that because India has a slightly longer batting lineup, let's play safe. If India didn't have that, they could have probably declared and asked at their board for the last 20 minutes. Fascinating day 4.
Yeah, fascinating. But if India didn't have that longer batting lineup, hopefully Boland and Lyon wouldn't have batted for 100 balls. We would have had another bowler to go to, especially with Akash Deep off the field for some time. So fascinating day. I think Australia are ahead. What do you guys think? Will they bat on the fifth day just for kicks, or will they declare overnight?
Yeah, I think Nitin, they should bat on, right?
I think they'll bat on and bat
They'll bat
on
on.
for about 2-3
5
overs.
overs.
They'll bat
I
on.
think
Yeah, 5 overs,
5 overs. Because
and
90
then
overs
Because
means two cracks with the new ball. So
Yes.
but 90
so
overs तो एक दिन में होते नहीं है ना. Like let's say realistically they
नहीं,
can
but
bowl
कल
only 80
96
85.
कल
नहीं, कल
कल
96
desperation
डालना ही है.
रहेगा.
नहीं
करेगा.
नहीं,
हाँ,
और कल 96 डालना ही है.
डे
No
वो
5.
bowler.
डालना
डालना
ही है.
ही है.
Yeah,
अच्छा.
yeah.
तो सौरभ मजा आएगा. Okay, so let's start with you as we so Australia 228 for the loss of 9 wickets. They are leading by 333 runs and amazing. They still maybe add so India should have somewhere 340 350 kind of a target. Day 5 realistically, Saurabh, starting with you, do you think all three results are possible or Australia are ahead? Can you give some percentages?
All 4 results are possible. I'm betting on a tie.
1960, 1966, and then again.
That will be
Okay.
fun, no? That will be amazing. That will be something that this series deserves. It has been such a great series so far. एक tight
Okay.
test हो जाए.
ये कमाल है बट ठीक है मतलब चलो ऑस्ट्रेलिया ओके
नहीं,
टाई
but
एक ऑप्शन है
realistically, I think Australia are the favorites. An Australia win would be the highest percentage chance. A
बट
draw
60
would be
40
the
अरे कुछ दो ना 60 40 टाइप्स
मतलब 40 to Australia win, 30 to नहीं 45 to Australia win, 35 to draw.
हाँ
और बाकी कितना बचा 20, तो 19.9 to India win and 0.1% to tie.
ए भगवान आई मीन यू वेंट टू ओके द Dwapan, your mathematics on this please.
I think 50% draw, 30 maybe 32 Australia win, 32
28
ना 20 20 हाँ 50 अभी अभी
अरे किसको
28
जीताना है पहले बोलो
20
किसको
28 ऑस्ट्रेलिया विन 20
अच्छा।
अब मुझे ड्रॉ को जीताना है मेरे को तो
सो ये
Because-
बट अच्छा ड्रॉ नहीं हुआ तो सेकंड ऑप्शन इज इंडिया विन और ऑस्ट्रेलिया विन
ऑस्ट्रेलिया मे बी ऑस्ट्रेलिया विन बट ऑस्ट्रेलिया का बॉलिंग में उतना फायर पावर तो दिख नहीं रहा है यार.
अच्छा तो यू आर सेइंग 50% ड्रॉ 25% ऑस्ट्रेलिया 25% इंडिया
हाँ 40 ओवर में अगर 6 विकेट नहीं गिरता है तो
हाँ।
मेरे को तो लगता नहीं ऑस्ट्रेलिया कैन फोर्स अ रिजल्ट.
very tricky Nitin, final call, your percentages.
40% Australia win, I would say. Maybe 30%, 35% I would say a draw,
Okay.
and
Bachao India.
and Bachawa India. Yeah.
Okay, but still Saurabh says tie bhi ho sakta hai. We'll wait for that exhilarating. Yes, Saurabh. You're on mute, I guess.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Kal jab Siraj and Bumrah are batting at 325 for 9, then it'll be interesting.
Unbelievable.
Tie will
This
come
guy,
into play.
this Saurabh, you really are taking this really wild across, but doesn't matter. It can happen. Friends, what do you think? Send us your percentages and let us know who can win tomorrow, or will it be a draw? Or as Saurabh said, it can be a tie also. Please send in your comments, like, share this video. Please subscribe to our channel, and it has been a fantastic day 4. Let's wait for some exhilarating stuff, fascinating stuff on day 5, and we'll be back tomorrow with the roundup of the entire match. Whatever happens, this test match is fine advertisement for 5-day contest. Dwapayan, Nitin, Saurabh, thank you very much. And we hope you have enjoyed the discussion. Friends, thank you very much. Please do send us your comments. And this is Pankaj Athavale signing off.
Thank you.